on Facebook. All right. They got the notification saying we live.
You got a text notification?
Yeah, I put my push notification.
Oh. That's buffering.
It's cool. It's cool. Give me time to load some stuff up. Tell everybody we here. Grabbing the crotch.
I like how I can text from this.
Boom. We're live now.
Live.
Yo, yeah, we're live.
Okay.
We are live, baby.
Here, I don't see the screen. I don't see it. Now we can look here. Okay. We try. We gotta learn. We got a lot to learn. You're the only viewer right now.
Yeah, probably am. I just sent it to my wife though, so she'll at least click the link for it once. Okay, wait. I gotta rephrase it. I didn't say the wife. What I said was, you gotta keep our female fans happy. Sorry, baby. Sorry. It was just a joke. It was all Keith's idea.
Three. All right. Ooh, that's gonna be really loud. Oh man, we finally, after 45 minutes, got us set up. Hopefully, this is a little test and trial run. Just turn your volume down if you want, and you can have it pulled up on the phone and see.
Yeah, I'm just trying to kill that. This old man.
Can you do chats on it now?
Let's see here.
Because I should have made it. I made it not kid friendly.
It says comments are turned off. Learn more.
Yeah, click learn more. Learn more. Jeez.
May be turned off when content protect minors. Channel video audience is set for made for kids. Your administrator has turned off and put on restricted mode.
I don't know. Probably. I don't know how to do it. I gotta, like I said, it's a learning process.
It's cool. All right, so don't worry about
yeah,
it. Like I said,
if you want to, if you want to comment or anything, hit up our Facebook page, which we actually need to do a HWY70 Facebook page as well. But you can hit us up via that or send us some text messages, stuff like that. Ooh, do you have Travis? Send it to our group.
The Epic?
Yeah.
I did that. I tagged you.
Okay.
And Epic.
No. Our text group with the league.
Yeah.
Because I know Travis would probably look at it. All right. Ooh, that's going to be really loud.
No, it ain't, man. Just focus, man. Focus. You got this. Anybody that knows us, because right now the only people watching this is my mama. Hey, mama.
Yeah, definitely. My mom's probably watching too. Shout out to moms.
Mama, we made it. You know what I'm saying?
But did we? Right. We are so basic,
so in other words, anybody that's watching us now, they know us personally, so they can text us and say you suck.
Yeah,
but
please.
It's cool, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you got to start somewhere, just like throwing axes.
Exactly. So we're not gonna we're not gonna worry about the haters. You know what I'm saying? Because we got the haters all around. They haters because they hate us. You know what I'm saying?
We should have put. Did you put it in the Waddle Discord page?
Nah, I'm not ready for that yet.
Not ready for that yet? Why not?
No. That's too much pressure. Because no, we got to get local friends and family first.
Okay,
You know
all right. Local friends and family
that's
first.
Right. Let's get them. If we can't get 3 of them to show up, we ain't. Nah.
Yeah, that's true.
Show love, baby. You know what I mean? So, I guess y'all trying to figure out what this is. This is the HWY70 show.
Yes.
With your boy, Keith, and Troy. So, what we talk about here on this show is axe throwing. And some life events and stuff like that. So we kind of mix it all in, but it really starts with axe throwing. That's where it starts and pretty much ends. But you know, we're goofy, and so we're gonna wind up talking about everything. I guess we decided to do it live today instead of just doing some recorded stuff so we can edit later. One, because we're lazy. We've already recorded shows and we did not post them yet. So
it's a lot of work behind the scenes.
And I'm not complaining because he's doing all the work with that. So I'm just gonna, chill on it. But yeah, so we decided to do it and go big with it, and here we are.
That's right. Here we are.
You ready?
The first show.
You ready?
No.
What
maybe. Yeah.
It's different when you're looking at the camera.
Yeah,
talking, right?
it is a little different, but I feel like, I don't know, there's just a lot that went into it preparation-wise as far as, like, me researching and learning about OBS, YouTube streaming, like all this. Shouts to my boy Dylan if he's watching. Shouts to Travis, Steven. Those guys have really put in some keys and like, hey, try this, do this, So I will have to say they helped out a little bit, but it's still a lot. Like, I see why people pay people to do this all the time because it's a lot, and I at first was like just looking to do a podcast, no video, nothing like that, just grab a couple mics, sit and talk. And then I was like, you know what, let's make a channel out of this. Let's bump it up from the podcast to an actual channel / podcast / interview. Like, it's going to go all over because I plan to take, my vision for this is to go to venues and set up, and maybe not this extreme, but definitely have, the lapels, like little mics on shirts, interview people, show some video of us throwing when we go places, and see, what it looks like and see where it goes from there. Right now, it's in the starting phase, as you can see. This is all new to us. We're all learning. So if anybody watching has any tips or tricks, please let us know.
I got it. First, look, I'm telling you right now, it's probably not a good idea to have me on camera because I'm telling you, every time I create a page, I had a page on Instagram, and every time I posted a selfie, I lost 2 followers. I'm telling you, that I'm not photogenic. There's something wrong here. As soon as I posted it, it was like 2 instantly. I was like, what is this? It was never more than 2. It was always 2 every time. I don't understand this.
That's okay. Well, I think the viewers will love you.
Yeah,
I really do.
I got a face for radio, and that's what it is. And hopefully, just the audio that's going to get Spotify at some point, and nobody will care what we look like.
Maybe we might just keep going live and try to bring in some guests. Have people in here talking as well with us. That's kind of my whole object to this, was to eventually get people, throughout the whole axe throwing world involved. As far as anybody that wants to come and join and talk and share their experiences about axe throwing. Just see, what the axe throwing world is and how it has gone from here to now here. Yeah. I mean, it went from nothing to now ESPN The Ocho to potentially even bigger and more streamlining on TV and national stage. So
right. So when it comes to people who want to get into axe throwing, I think a lot of it starts with, like, how do you get started? And I'm a big believer in Google. Start looking up your local venue, axe throwing. Some of them are going to be Waddle affiliated, some of them IATF, and some of them just a regular beer joints that just said, I want to throw axes.
Yes.
So just go out and have a good time. That's why I would tell you to start. Not even trying to be competitive. Just go have a good time and see if you even like just having fun with it. And if you do decide to get competitive, at some point you're going to have to figure out what is the best axe.
Yes, the big, best axe.
That's right. And then, do you spend a lot of money for an axe? Do you have to, can you spend a little bit and get away with it? Look, here's the truth. You can go to Ace Hardware and get an axe. And that is wattle approved, that you could actually throw. Even some of the house axes are indeed Ace Hardware axes.
Yes.
And I'm not saying you can't win, because if you got skills, you got skills.
That's right.
But I will tell you, there's some axes out there that kind of make the playing field just a little bit less level. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
That's right.
They sure do.
We're going to go down and talk about a couple of the axes that we have noticed throughout our journey, and then hopefully round up with an axe that maybe you haven't seen.
Or heard of.
Or heard of.
Yeah.
So I may forget a couple of them, but I know we start out, let's say, the competition axe. So if you're on the Wattle website, which is WATL, you go on the Wattle website, you go into the shopping area, you start pulling up axes. The first thing you're going to see is you're going to see the popular axes.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean it's the best axe because it's the most popular. It's just the one they put the most reviews for. We're going to give you what we have seen as far as axes that get thrown regularly by some of the top guys out there. So I would think first is the competition axe. The competition axe is not one you see a lot of. It is a good starter axe. Get you rolling. It's very durable. But I will tell you, if you get super competitive, you're going to want to upgrade away from the competition axe.
Yes, that was one of the first ones I bought. I bought that one with the wooden handle, because that's the one that has the wooden and the poly handle. And I bought the poly handle one as well. And that's what I started throwing again. It was something to step into the sport and try to learn to figure out what I was doing. But I will say that most venues will have axes that are wattle, obviously, but that you can throw, so you can get a feel. Because I mean, it is kind of tempting for a lot of people to go on there and see an axe for 150, 130 bucks. It didn't really shy me away, because now I have 8.
Oh my God!
And
man, this guy's collection is unreal. You don't want look. You would say, man, he is balling. He's got all the axes. No, he's just irresponsible.
Very.
Okay, he has. No, I'm not even going to go in. I'm not putting the business out.
Yeah, no.
But just know he got a lot of axes.
Yes.
And he loves them a lot. So,
speaking of a lot.
Oh yeah.
Did you see? Shout out to Brandon Elliott, one of the guys we throw it. Did you see his Facebook post?
About.
He was of the stuff he was throwing today.
No,
dude, he had this fold out table that was full, from swords to knives to machete, you name it.
That's some
he had it.
Psychopath stuff, man. That's the stuff you see that you don't go to his house.
Right, but dude, he was doing some cool. He had full size, tree axes that you would cut trees with, and he was throwing them behind the back. He could do the handstand throws. So.
Yeah, he's the same one that can kick the axe into the wood.
Yep.
But see, I'm gonna tell you now, Brandon. Look, I'm sorry, bro, but you're the guy that's gonna wind up on a Netflix special. I'm telling you, because they're gonna be like, yeah, he had all this stuff. It was cool until then the music changes, and all of a sudden, he had a,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he really good guy, very nice.
That's what they say about Raw, though.
Right.
He was quiet. He kept to himself.
Yep. I remember our first ever competition when we lined up and he crossed over into my board and split my blue dot on my side, and I was like,
oh crap.
What is this?
I think he threw a 56 something that day, but he ripped it, and I was like, holy crap.
Yep.
And he's one of the few people I see that throw two-handed.
Yes.
But he's definitely accurate with it. Like, holy crap.
But getting back to axes, we kind of went off, but it's all good. This is what it's going to be. Just be along for the ride. I would have to say for a starter axe for anybody would definitely probably have to be an Ace of Spades. If you're going to go wattle side. They are a little bit heavier, but you get the blade length versus, a house axe, you're looking at a 2.5, 3-inch blade possibly, where an ace you're looking at
it's a full
4.
It's a full 4. The problem is that it's rounded a little bit.
Yep.
So sometimes as you get more competitive, that's where you're going to want to eventually upgrade from the ace, because you could lose some points because of the bevel. But if you're really just getting started, you want to feel comfortable sticking it. And when I say sticking, I mean the wood, the axe is sticking into the wood, not falling off.
Yep.
I think the ace is a great starter axe to get you rolling.
I think they're 140, 130.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right
unless
now,
they have a sale.
No. Actually, if you look on there now, almost all of the axes are going for $114.95 before shipping and taxes.
Wow,
So,
okay.
So you can get, I don't care if it's the Queen, it's the Butcher, I think they're all going for that price. Matter of fact, while we're doing it, I might as well look it up live and
Yeah.
see what we got.
My personal favorite, I'll just go ahead and while you're looking that up, I'll go with my personal, is right now is probably the Queen of Hearts. Everybody has switched to the King, and pretty much any venue you go to, when you go and see and watch people, or you go to throw and compete, it's going to be a King. Everybody has a King of Diamonds. Why? I don't know. I mean, yes, he throws a King. So, me personally,
Yes,
I like the way the Queen
114
flows.
114. Now the competition X is super cheap. It's $47.95.
Right.
And then the what is
Corporal
it?
or
Bad
Bad
X.
X. Yep.
That's 104.
Bad X is not a bad one to start
And
with
the
either.
Corporal is 104.
The Corporal. Yep.
And then that's when you start seeing
The
some-
pro line and stuff. So if you're looking on there and you see a pro line, all it means is your blade has been shaved down
Right, it's
and
thinner.
is a lot thinner. But for axes, I would honestly suggest, like I said, Ace of Spades. Even, I mean, if you wanted to jump in with a Queen of Hearts, you can. Just know your throw is going to change a little bit because of different weights and lengths. When I first started, I think all the water ones come in at what, like 18 inches handles?
like 17.
There's 17,
Yeah,
yeah.
17.
And I moved up to the 18, 19-inch handle range, right there to the max length, and I absolutely love it. The first one I got was I had Lucas Odell make it. So, Lucas, if you're watching or in here, shouts to you for my Queen. I wish I actually had it. I could show it off. Maybe on the next one. And then Brian Cox made me a duels axe for us for when we played duels, which has got, he pretty much did whatever he could to mimic the Queen that I throw normally. So, and it's so nice to have an axe that you throw regularly for hatchet to then turn around and throw for duels. It is so nice. I see so many people switching up and throwing different axes for duels, and it's throwing their throw off because they're not used to throwing it. Where, thank you, Brian, again, Brizo Creations.
Bizo,
Yeah, Bizo Creations. If you're looking for an axe, hit him up. He does good work. Same with Lucas. Everybody out there does good work, obviously. And that's one thing you will see. There's a lot of people that'll make axes. So if you're interested in getting an axe or wanting an axe, you can always look. There is, if you have Facebook, there's a Facebook group that is, I think it's buy, sell, trade axes or something like that. And you'll see a lot of them in there too. So
Yeah, a lot of custom axes.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you there are some axes you're going to get that are they're really cool looking, but they're just not waddle approved. And that's when they've got I think it's like multiple divots in it,
Yeah.
or like, it's not the hole in it. That's not the issue.
No.
But if you have a point on both ends, it's really cool. Waddle even sells a couple on their website that are really cool, but they're not waddle approved to throw in competition. So please keep that in mind. Look up the waddle rules before you buy an axe to find out what's best for you. Some people love the longer handle. I'm a huge fan of the longer handle. As I got a chance to throw his axe and some of the others that are 18 inches, I think it helps with accuracy a lot, especially since we're going to transition to a 15-foot line probably next year.
Yes.
I think that longer handle is going to come into play, but we'll talk about that in future live streams about what we have found as tips to help you with the 15-foot throwing, and hopefully maybe we'll get to a point where we can demonstrate that at some point. But again, we've talked about the Competition X.
Yep.
We mentioned the Ace of Spades.
Yep.
Now there are going to be some other ones. You see Bad Axe, some others. Again, these are good starter axes just to play around with. But as far as the axes we see consistently in competition, it's the Ace of Spades, obviously. We see the Queen of Hearts. The Queen of Hearts is really popular, and I'm a big fan of the Queen of Hearts because I own a couple of them myself. And I will tell you, they are the perfect combination of lightweight, wide blade, and you can really get after it. I do believe if you're willing to spend the money to get a custom handle, it would be beneficial to lengthen the handle.
Yes.
Because the one that comes at 17 inches, and if you're a little shorter, it's probably plenty for you. I think for me being I'm 6 foot tall, so, and kind of long arms, so when I'm out there and I'm throwing it, I do find that it helps me, because sometimes I throw a little hard, to slow down my rotation. And so that longer handle will help with that, and it helps with the accuracy. And also, because of the way I throw, sometimes with the shorter handle, it will come out a little cockeyed a little bit, and that longer handle sometimes kind of helps me straighten up my throw. Yeah. So I do believe that the Queen is probably the perfect combination of lightweight and maximum blade.
That's funny you say that is one of the most popular, because I feel like the King of Diamonds is the most
popular.
popular.
I think the King of Diamonds has become increasingly more popular, but every venue I go to, I've seen somebody throwing a Queen. And quite a few people throwing the Queen.
I was about to say, well, yeah, because you go with me everywhere just about, so I always throw it. But
also what
that's funny, because when I was at Tribal Acts, no one had a Queen. I think there was maybe one other person that had a Queen, maybe.
No, there was a few. What happens is you see variations of the Queen because
true.
A lot of them modified their handles, so sometimes they didn't even look like a Queen anymore. Yeah. The Kings, what I do like, the King is a little heavier, so it's kind of, to me, what it feels like. Now I'm sure you can look it up, and I'll probably debunk what I'm about to say, but it feels like it's slightly in between weight-wise, the Ace of Spades and the Queen. Queen being lighter, Ace of Spades being the heavier of the two, and the King is somewhere in between. What I like about the King is actually that little fishtail that it has, because it kind of straightens your throw a little bit.
Aerodynamics.
Yes, it does. I mean, whoever figured that out, man, kudos to you, because I do believe it helps straighten out your throw a little bit and gives you some accuracy. But I will say, I know I could physically throw the Queen a lot longer than I could the King.
Right.
And because of its huge difference in weight. If you ever throw 10 throws, go grab the other one, you'll be like, holy crap. It's going to be a huge difference. But I think the top two for sure are the King and the Queen, quite naturally. I think an underrated axe, to me, is the Jack of Clubs.
Yes. Colby Dean. That's what Colby Dean throws.
I think it's an underrated axe. I know some people had issues with the shape. They thought it was distracting.
I can see that. Well, for me, I don't know, because I place it on the side of my head now.
Yeah, me too. I never see it.
I would never see it, but for people that hold out,
do this, they see
that would make sense.
But I think it's an underrated axe. I've had a chance to throw a couple times, and I liked it, honestly. I thought it was a lot like the Queen, honestly. Yeah. Just shape was slightly different, but the blade itself, coverage, and everything was good.
Might have to pick up a new axe.
Look, he will do it too. Oh my God, the money he's putting into axes. I hope his wife is not watching this. If she's watching,
she might be.
She'll be like, "How much did you put into this?"
She already knows. She gets home and sees the box with the new axe in it, and she's like, "Really, you got another one?"
I'm telling you, this guy, he's got a problem. We got to do intervention for him. So if you see him looking at axes, make him walk away. He's in Lowe's. I don't care if he has to chop wood for real. Tell him to go and
go home.
Yeah, go home. Don't do it.
So we've talked about hatchet, but for some people that might be newer, there is big axe. Now Waddle has 3, I believe, that they sell. They don't have many big axes, but those you have. So many people make them. So many people are selling them. You will find them all over, from plum heads all the way to modified King of Diamonds to Lucas did a King of Corporal. He took a corporal head, or I think it was a corporal, or one of the big axe. What's the other big axes?
Colossal.
You got the Colossal, which is the big butcher, basically.
Right.
Then you have what's the one Richard throws?
Oh, shit, I don't know which one Richard throws.
It's I think it's like the bad axe.
Did he get it from Waddle?
He did, yeah. While we're looking that up, we should have been prepared, but we weren't expecting to go live and do all this. So,
is it the General's what he throws? Which one does he throw? Because I throw this one. Is it this one?
No, it's the General. So I think Lucas took a General and cut it into the shape of a King of Diamonds.
No way.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people do for the big king. They take plums or anything like that and just get them made into the King of Diamonds for a big king. But
now, as he stated, he said the Colossal is a big butcher. Now, the butcher is an axe we didn't really mention.
No.
It looks like a giant butcher knife to a degree. And if you
with a handle.
Yeah, and when you hit flush, sometimes it won't stick unless you really wing it. Shout out to Brandon Elliott. He actually throws a butcher, but he puts a lot of punch behind his. And And sometimes that's probably the major negative to the butcher, and the well as colossal. But I will say I did modify my blade a little bit. I took it and kind of rounded the edge a little bit to kind of give me just the corners. Like the blade is still wide as it's going to be, but I kind of rounded the edge a little bit so that way if it over rotated or under, it would still stick. And or if it went flush, I was more likely to stick. So it kind of gave me slightly the queen profile.
Right.
And it's helped quite a bit. With that extra weight, you don't often have to worry about did you throw it hard enough. That's because you got to pretty much put some power behind it. I think it's a 3-pound axe, and you got to put some power there. So I was very fortunate. It comes with a 27-inch handle. I cut mine down to 24 inches and took the edges off, and I was able to throw in our first big axe last weekend, and we did pretty well. And so we had a good showing for ourselves, and at this point we hope to do more of them and have a good showing as well.
Yes, I'm ready to do another one.
Absolutely.
I will say my forearm the next day, and it's like, so our marathon was Saturday. Sunday, my forearm was killing me. I wasn't,
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but you have to think. Saturday we threw big axe. Friday or Thursday we practiced duels and stuff.
Yep.
So I mean, we threw probably 600 times at least, you know.
Now,
And
do you think your forearm gets tired because of style?
possibly with how I throw the big X, possibly because I am kind of holding it to the side and kind of just using forearm and lower arm and not kind of shoulder or anything. It's all forearm. So yeah, that could be a potential, but you know, again, it was the first one. We kind of just didn't know what to expect, but it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun and did well. You ended up winning the tournament.
I try not to say it.
I got to, you know. So yeah, congrats on that. We both missed our goals. Sort of.
Yeah.
I ended up at the high score, which was one of my goals. I was trying, you know, obviously for a 32, which is a perfect. I ended with a 30. I hit quite a few kill shots, which I was surprised about. But all in all, it was a good start and a good way to go in. This Sunday, we are actually – no, next Sunday.
Well, this Sunday we'll be doing our local, finishing up our local league.
Local league
as far
will
as
be
the
the tournament.
We finished the season.
Yep. And I was thinking of duels. Next Sunday, the 27th, we'll be doing our duels, and you're possibly doing the hatchet, right?
Yeah, maybe on that Saturday. I'm waiting to see what happens at Ironclad if they're going to do theirs this weekend.
She emailed us. They're not.
No.
Yep.
Dang it.
Didn't have enough.
All right, so that's fine. So I might wind up at Armadillo, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be at Armadillo for the duels for sure.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be our second duels outing. The first one
and
was...
we're going to win it again.
That's right.
Win it again. I don't care who show up. Let's go, Brown Johnson.
Yeah.
The BB Wieners are in the house. Yeah, you guys don't know that our duels
yeah,
BB
jeez. And that was all him, by the way. I'm letting him take all credit.
And that's what it was. Yes, it was childish, okay? And it was like hot dog wieners. That's what I spelled it like. And then somebody said BB, and I think they were saying, you know, big and black is what they were trying to go with, or big and beautiful. And it sounds weird when you say BB Wieners, but hey, we're still the Wieners.
That's
so every
right.
time, and I wanted to go with the Wieners, because every time they said, it's the Wieners, they had to basically call us winners. They couldn't help it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then it wound up working out. The Wieners won. You know?
Yeah, the Wieners did win.
That's right.
There's a lot of creative names out there. If you go through that duels like leaderboard, there's some people have some creative lists.
Called Brown Johnson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're two white guys, by the way.
Yeah, and they are good.
Yes. And then the ones that are disgusting, like the one, flick it and stick it. You know?
Yeah.
Flick it and stick. That's what I thought about. You know what I'm saying? Yes,
I hope they're watching actually too.
Those are my guys, Sean and Brian. Those are my guys.
Because I want them to come.
No, hey.
Yes.
We're not ready for that.
Yes. Bring it.
Slow down, kill it.
But yes, you know, I'm excited. You know, we have a new strategy. So Sean, if you're watching, we got a new strategy.
No, just don't show up. Stay in South Carolina, man. Don't come up. Hey, but no, this is, I will tell you, as for me, I can say I've had a really good experience getting a chance to witness some events that, like the knife throwing. I'm not a big knife thrower myself, but I do appreciate the sport in itself. I do appreciate what they do. That to me is probably the most difficult of the disciplines within waddle, because you got knives, hatchet, duels, and big axe.
Yep.
I think knives have got to be the most difficult of the group.
I will have to say it probably does take the most skill. For people that don't know, knives you have to throw from 8 or 10.
Yeah,
10,
somewhere
10
in there,
feet,
10 feet, whatever.
and then 15 feet.
Yeah.
So, I've tried it. I've thrown. I have knives. I tried getting him into it. He was in it for 2 games, and then, he was done, even though he was throwing really good. And someone high up that is in the leaderboards for a lot of things told him he needed to do it, and he still wouldn't do it. But, the next Pro League Series tournament, we'll have to pull him aside and talk with
They
him.
convinced me to get into Big Axe. I got into Big Axe, and I was grateful to be able to get into it. So
I got you in the duels.
That's right.
And
So
now we're
I'm
going to
doing
get
duels.
you in knives,
Oh,
too.
speaking of axes, I got to tell you about an axe. I forgot all about this. An axe that is really cheap. I got a chance to use the axe, and I got to give my review on this axe.
Yeah?
It is the woodpecker.
Why do axes have such...
Perverted name.
Yes.
No, but the water ones are all based upon playing cards, so they're kind of cool.
Yeah, they're cool, but now the other ones...
The woodpecker,
Yeah.
right? I get it. It's like, it's not, I wouldn't call it perverted. I mean, it's like a woodpecker just poking in the wood, right? So you'll see one that's 16.1 inches, and when they say that, they mean from the top of the axe to the bottom of the axe, right?
Yep.
And matter of fact, I actually have that axe. Hang on.
While he's going to get it. One of my ones that I've seen people use that is a little bit cheaper, that is I think $49.99 or maybe $50 is Cold Steel. So if Travis is watching, Travis, we'll get you in here to do an interview, and you can specifically talk nothing about Cold Steel, because that's all he threw until he recently got his queen. One of our other league members, Seth, he got a Cold Steel off of Amazon for duels. One cool thing is they have like Allen screws in the top, so you can literally just unscrew it, throw a new handle in, throw a new head in, whatever you want to do. If you want to, make a bigger handle, get a squared handle, all that kind of stuff is available, just kind of almost like Infinity Axe. Infinity Axes are really cool too. They're the same way. You can pop a head off. They've got the Flamingo, which literally one girl I saw throwing it one time actually had the handle painted pink, and she painted the blade white and had it where the little rivet was for the blade.
One guy that we saw had like the burnt orange color. It almost looked like it was plastic
Yeah.
when he was done with it.
Yep.
I was like, that. It looked plastic.
It does
was not
look
for,
crazy.
Like, the edge, you would have.
You would have never known.
Now this, by the way, is the King of Diamonds. You can kind of see. I don't know if you see.
I was about to say, get up there and bring it up close.
Yeah, you can see it right there. You can see the little fishtail up top on the back right here. Now the thing about this, I'm glad they don't count it as a point, because otherwise this axe would be no good, and you'd have to round that off. But the axe I was referring to.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, some people, we saw one that had that cut and made it into a rectangle. They cut that point off and kind of made it up and into like
Squared it
more,
off.
squared it off and.
Yeah. Now this is the woodpecker. Now I got the one that was 18 inches. When they say 18 inches, it's from the top to the bottom of the axe, because the maximum in wattle is 19 inches. Now this axe is not good, if I'm not mistaken, for IATF, because the gap between the wood and the axe is too wide. And IATF, it has to be 1 inch max. And I think wattle allows you to have a bigger gap. Now the negative that I have found about this axe, and I'm gonna start with the negative and end with the positive. The negative is the axe head you can shake it and you can kind of hear it. Now it doesn't waddle to, well, yes it does. You kind of wiggle it.
Might have been from throwing it. Oh yeah.
Now I'm gonna tell you why I got the axe. I got the axe because it was cheap. After my Amazon Prime and all that stuff kicked, it was $42 for me to come. I got it because this guy here, when we're throwing axes in duels, that's 2 people throwing at the same time at the same target. Together we could wind up clashing. And these axes, when you look at them online, you're talking about $115 before taxes and shipping. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm willing to risk something so expensive, throwing it and potentially blowing it up, right? So I decided to go and get a cheaper axe that I could throw that if it went left, I wasn't worried about what would go wrong. So that was why I got this one, and I throw with a lot more confidence and willing to actually take more risk because of that. So shout out to whoever made the woodpecker, because you made it cheap and gave me an opportunity to feel good about
Whatever that
throwing
is.
it. Yeah, whatever. I'm sure it's some type of, it has some Asian writing on the side. I'm not even sure if it's an Asian deal. It could be Hispanic, I don't know. But the thing is I do like the axe though, because of that extra length on the handle. It does throw very surprisingly smooth, even with the shaky handle. And the beard, now that's what I was gonna say on that beard. You see here, the width down here. If you get a board that is a little chewed up, what could possibly happen is it goes in too deep and then you don't get the point.
Right.
Now, for some of you guys, you don't know what I'm talking about. That's something we'll cover at another time as far as when it sticks into the wood. But if you look at the rules, you'll find out. If it winds up going in too deep, I could lose the point if they choose to judge it that way and say so. Because it's almost too thin here. If it was just a little bit wider, it would be almost perfect. And obviously you want the handle to be a little more sturdy. But I think it's a great start axe. It's perfectly 4 inches. You get the width, you can do it, you can enjoy it. $42. It's not a huge investment. You can actually get into it, have a great time, throw some great scores, and it's surprisingly accurate. And when I say accurate, obviously, you know, the thrower itself is really who's accurate, but I find that I'm having the same, I think it's gone. Yeah. Killing the live. Yeah. I think we're still alive. We're still alive?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, this is what happens whenever you do it live. You get phone calls and you gotta handle it. But yeah, that's what I would do. That's the only thing that worries me about the axe. Now again, the handle is super loose at this point. The more I throw it, the looser it becomes.
Well, if you notice underneath, if you flip it,
gap.
so I'm wondering if you could take a piece of another handle and kind of wedge it in there, if that would stop it from wiggling.
Yeah, because that's the only concern I have is that I'm gonna get used to throwing this axe, and then that head is gonna come off because I feel like if I keep wiggling it enough, it will just come right off.
It could. That glue that's in the top could be bad too, honestly.
Could be.
What you should do is ask Brian whenever we see him next. Just if you have it with you, just say, hey, you know, what do you think about this? What could you do with this?
I'm almost afraid to quit practicing with it. I mean, to keep practicing with it, because what happens if it comes loose in there?
Amazon.
That's right. I might need to get two. You know what I'm saying? Get two
one.
Backup. That way it's
And then
still
maybe
cheap.
and see if the next one you get, if it's like that, because
Yeah.
it might.
Yeah,
I
just do
don't
it
know
just
if
this one.
it's meant to be like that or not. I doubt it.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
maybe
it
it's
literally
kind of like
wiggles
a. Yeah, that's too much. I was gonna say maybe it's got like a give in it for when it hits the board. So
Maybe.
you know, I don't. But I don't know.
It's just too much of a gap. But I will tell you, like, again, I despite the shaky, I still like the way it hits.
Oh yeah.
And I'm waiting to see it fall apart one day. But fortunately, we have purchased a lot of axes. So we have axes
Plenty
for
of
backups on the
backups.
backup.
Yep.
And so we're in good shape. And most of our backups are queens.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I told you, we're big fans.
I got
of
another
queens.
queen for
and the
duels.
king, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you get the profile, like the pro version, it means it's thin. Do not be afraid when it says this axe can bend. I know they have to give that disclaimer online. You are not likely to bend the metal, even on the more profiled axes, unless you are just really winging it and you're getting a crap load of drops. And if that's the case, then you're gonna damage any axe for that matter.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? Yeah, so I would do, keep your axes sharp, polished. It will rust, so keep all of them away from moist areas. If you leave them in your car, I promise you it's gonna rust at some point. I left my axe overnight and I already started getting the rust around the blade already. I was like, what in the world? So I would tell you, don't leave them in moist areas, because if you are getting any kind of moisture intrusions, your axe is gonna start showing rust almost immediately. It is a tool as much as it is a sporting item. So I would definitely tell you, take care of your axe. You even if it's $42 or $142, you still put good money into it. Some of these axes you'll get on there, they're $350, $500, $600 for axes, and you don't want to waste the investment.
Not at all.
Absolutely. So I would definitely tell you, take care of your axe. And be careful with them. You see how much wine playing around with this? These X's are sharp, man. Yeah, he cut a hole in his pants. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a little nasty. That's what it was. He was trying to. I know what he was trying to show me. I ain't trying to show a little thigh. I gotta see it. I see it. Trying to tempt me. That's what he doing.
Whoa! No,
That's what he was doing.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't rock like that. You know what I'm saying? Not just infant molding. See, that's, you know what? I know I'm deviating. I think that is the most hilarious thing about that movement.
What?
Is that those who aren't in the movement say, but there's nothing wrong with it.
True.
There's nothing wrong with it. They feel terrified to
Yeah.
say it. It is hilarious to me.
It is. But yeah, we plan on doing this every Wednesday, hopefully. Obviously, hopefully we'll get better with setups and the way everything is presented. I'm going to keep obviously researching, doing more research. But one segment we are going to probably try to do is if anybody that has watched or is watching, which I don't know how many are on right now, if you guys want us to talk about something, send it to us. However you can reach out to us. You can reach out to my Facebook page, his Facebook page, the Epic Misfits Facebook page, because that's our throwing page. So if you ever want to follow us and see what we're doing, where we're at, look up the Epic Misfits on Clayton, or on Facebook from Clayton, and you will see us. We will be, like I said, I usually try to put up a picture every time we go somewhere. The last one I wasn't because we were constantly throwing. We literally just kept switching lanes. But if you have anything you want us to talk about, anything within axe throwing that you want to learn about, anything that you want us to talk about, just send it to us. And what we'll do is we'll put it on an axe board and we'll actually put a whole bunch of them and we'll take and maybe blindfold him and just have him throw. And see what he hits or what he's near, and we'll pull that off, and that'll be our topic for the day. So look forward to seeing that. We also have guests on. I plan to get quite a few other people involved in this. So anybody that was watching, please, if you want to get involved and you want to interview or you want to be on the show, send us something. Let us know. We'd love to have you. Oh, yeah, but that's...
And shout out to our sponsor, right?
No, we don't have one yet.
We not got no sponsor?
No sponsors yet.
Okay, all right. So, potential sponsors, hey, holler at us.
Yes, let us know.
People, I promise you, we can pass background checks, decent credit, I think. But you know what I'm saying? Like, give us a shout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you're ever in the Raleigh area, in that general vicinity, Wake County, Johnson County area, make sure you come on down to Epic Axe. We would love to have you. You got Epic Axe of Clayton. Of Wake Forest. And Morgan Street, which is like downtown, right?
Yeah, downtown Raleigh. It's the food hall. Morgan Street Food Hall. It's in the food hall. So if you're familiar with the downtown area, that's where it'll be. And
let us know which one you're showing up in. We'll show up. We'll come to you.
We'll come to you.
Absolutely. So Epic Axe, feel free to come on down. I think you'll enjoy yourself. Each venue looks a little bit different, but they're all fun and they're all an opportunity to just relax.
Yes.
Therapeutic, have a good time. And hey, we'd love to have you come down and kick our butts.
Yes. If anybody has, and wants to do parties or anything like that, corporate events, let me know. I can get it scheduled and booked, and we can get you in here.
And use the website. By the way, the website will help you book.
Epicaxe.com, and you will just choose your location on there, and you can book anything you want on there. Be looking for soon. We're going to be doing hot dogs and stuff at the Clayton location. So if you're interested in that, let us know. And yeah, I think this was a good first show. First live.
Hey, thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you guys coming out to check us out. We hope to be, again, a little more organized, but at the same time, we will be loose, we'll be free. We'll talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about, even if it's not axe throwing, and we'll do our best to have some kind of bootleg discussion about it.
About something. Whatever
and
you say.
This is our show, so we're looking forward to having you join us again. Take a look at it. You'll see us on Facebook. Eventually Instagram, and then you'll see us on YouTube for sure. And so just look for more venues and more avenues for us to show up in. So maybe a venue near you, platform near you, and so we're excited.
Awesome.
All right.
Sweet.
You guys have a good one.
See y'all.